Hello. So I am going to inquire into silence, sitting in silence, why it is crucial. So, first of all, before going into the inquiry, let me make a few points clear. I don't have any knowledge, I mean, something. When you do the inquiry, you don't know. I just do the inquiry and I don't know if something appear. Maybe I receive an answer, maybe I don't know. I don't. So, and I will talk about inquiry as well. Why inquiry is crucial. In actually, inquiry make the silence possible. Inquiry is words. Like now I am talking, yeah? You talk, then you pause. Silence is in the pause, and it enables you to detect the pause, the silence. There are words are just thoughts, then empty a space, then words. So, inquiry is important because inquiry, not because of the result you get from inquiry, but inquiry itself is just like meditation, even more powerful. So, inquiry is important because inquiry makes silence possible. And you are the silence. So, you can be realized just in silence. And therefore, inquiry is a way of realization, not the knowledge that inquiry give you, but inquiry itself. When you engage in inquiry, the answers that probably come to you, the knowledge that probably come to you, the wisdom that probably come to you, that's not the main part, main point. But the main point is that if you really truly do the inquiry, then you know nothing. You know not a thing. You are not going to read a book. So when you know nothing, then you need to ask the question. When you ask the question, you need to remain as the silence. And in that silence, some maybe wisdom appear, maybe not appear, but it doesn't matter. The point is that you talk and you pause. It makes the mind absent. And therefore, it makes you to realize that you are. Then we basically need motivations. I mean, the mind need motivation to do something. Many of us have the motivation. For instance, we want to be self-realized. So we may choose inquiry. We ask, who am I? If that's not the case, then we always have a problem. Always the mind have a problem. That's the quality of mind. However, the problem is just artificial, not real. So you can use the problem, the pain, the suffering as the motivation to inquire who is suffering or why am I suffering. And actually, it doesn't matter how you do the inquiry. You ask the question and remain as the silence. Then, in the silence, thoughts appear. You look into the thoughts. You ask the next question: why this thought is true? Is this thought true? Whatever you want, you go deeper and deeper. Remove a layer after a layer. So this was about the inquiry, but I wanted to talk about silence. Then I compare both of them together. Inquiry, I will. So now I talked about inquiry. Inquire. And then I am going to talk about silence. And at the end, I compare both of them. Then you will see for yourself how beautifully they are connected. They are almost the same, but in different ways. And each of them are working better for different people or in different situations. Okay, let me summarize what I said about inquiry. So inquiry is when you don't come with a bunch of knowledge, a bunch of thousands of books and reading me a book. No, you just come with your pain, with your sufferings, with your tiredness, with your question. You want to know who you are really, really who you are. Why am I here? Why do I do the inquiry at all? So you have the real questions already. Why you do inquiry? Because you have a pain, you want to remove the pain. But then you continue, you don't stop. Okay? How the inquiry can remove the pain? Because in actually pain, the suffering is a result of thoughts. And inquiry enable you to detect the thoughts. When you detect the thoughts, you can easily find out thoughts are just not built based on a solid ground. They are just thoughts. They are appear. Then suddenly your suffering disappear, or it will be reduced for sure because thoughts most of time are nonsensical. And even if they are true, for instance, say I need to pay bills and I have no job, then that's true. Yeah, that's a real situation. But when, for instance, for instance, early in the morning, you wake up, you don't feel good, you do not see the thought in your skull. And this is another quality of thoughts. Thoughts are not profound, they are not anything. They are just, you know, they are hidden. Otherwise, they are stupid. I mean, when you do the inquiry and they show up, then you see, oh, they are just nonsensical, man. Okay, I need to pay bills. I have to work. I mean, they are just simple. Okay, you don't have any work, then who is going to pay the bill? You can, in actually, when we don't receive a answer immediately, that's better for inquiry. Okay, for instance, let's continue this inquiry. I have to pay, for instance, the bills. I don't have a job, but you can go find a job. Okay, but when I go to find a job, there is no job. I mean, this situation is not true. Always there is something to do. But let's go radical. Okay, if there is no job, then what? Then I cannot maybe pay for my bills, everything. Okay, then what happens next? At the end of day, at worst, you will die. It's okay. That's it. One day we come and one day we go. And then you say, okay, you accept it. Then you are free, even more free. The endless questions are the best questions for inquiry. And you find out, how do you know I cannot find a job or I can find a job? You find out you don't know. That's the mind, limited. Based on limited observation, it comes to stupid answers. You don't know. Who are you? Who are you telling me if I will have a good job or bad job or not have a job? You are nothing. You do not exist at all. I am part of the life. I am the life itself. So you separate yourself from life, and when we separate ourselves from life, then we are small, we are weakened. Then fears appear. So, but when I do the inquiry, I found out, okay, these thoughts are nonsensical. You come back to your natural state. So I just maybe I did a inquiry in a something that showed up. No, let me summarize again. When you do the inquiry have many benefits, but I just can see a few of them. For instance, when you ask a question, especially if the question is something endless, who am I? This is a endless. I don't want to go there because then it will take another hour. Who am I? When you ask the question and you do not have any answer, if you have an answer, the answer is a wrong answer because it's mental. You need to continue. So when we ask the question, then we wait. It's not we are waiting for an hour. We we are asking the questions and we observe, we see, we go in silence to see if we receive the wisdom. If we receive, then we ask the next question. Always there is another question, or we repeat the same question. So it doesn't matter how you continue. The point is, you have a period of talking, a period of silence. And in this empty space and the noisy space, the combination of noisy space and empty space allow you to realize yourself. That's the point of inquiry, not receiving some answer. Answers are good. If you receive it, then you can apply it, enjoy it. But if not, inquiry has already done its job. So inquiry is not about receiving answers. However, if you receive some answers, it's perfect. So this was inquiry, yeah? I talked about it a little and I summarized it. No, let's go into silence. Why silence matter? In actually, silence is the opposite of inquiry. When you go into silence, I sit here. Just by sitting, thought appear. Just by sitting here, simply thoughts appear. Maybe they are frightening thoughts. Basically, when we sit in silence, at least for me, fearful thoughts come. Then you watch the thought to see what that is. You can ask question if you like. If you can combine it by inquiry, but it's okay. You can just observe it. You need to feel the feelings. When thoughts appear, they are accompanied by feelings. Just feel the feelings. Listen completely to thoughts. Do not run away from them. Then thoughts run away. They disappear. So again, it is silence. Then thought appear again. You watch them and listen to them really. They are not your enemy. They are most of time about survival. And when we listen to them and try to understand them, even have compassion for them, talking, they are talking, saying something. When you listen to them fully without resistance and you feel the feelings, whatever feeling it is, then they disappear. So again, you have a space of the noisy space and empty space. And the benefit of silence is that when these thoughts, a group of thoughts are disappearing, you go deeper. Then you go deeper into subconscious mind. I don't know where is the mind, but I mean hidden thoughts, the thoughts that you do not have access to them normally. They disappear, then you go deeper and deeper. If you remain in silence for 1 hour, 2 hour, then you are remove the layers of thoughts. In actually our psyche is thoughts building upon thoughts, stacking by stacking thoughts, we have the psyche. So when you remain in silence, one layer appear, you observe them, and they remove. They go, they vanish on their own. Again and again, you go deep somewhere. You are that, you are the easiness. There is no thought. If thoughts come, okay, you can watch them, but you are basically that you are. So silence is a process just kind of opposite of inquiry. You sit in silence, thought appear, then silence thought appear. You see a space, empty space, and noisy space. And this sitting in silence enable you to realize the very essence of yourself, the easiness that you are. Inquiry is good if you cannot sit in silence. I mean, because when we sit in silence, thoughts just attack us. We are bombarded with negative thoughts. It is easier said than done. But inquiry, because you can impose your question. When the thought appear, you can say, okay, to whom they come? To me. Then who am I? You can have more control over it. And it works perfectly. It works perfectly, both of them. So at the end of the day, when one of them doesn't work, you can switch between them. But they are completely similar. And ultimately, there is a emptiness, nothingness, empty space, easiness, whatever you call, and you are that. As soon as these two processes help you realizing that essence, then you don't need inquiry even or the other sitting. You jump into that easiness immediately. So it opens other doors for you, the inquiry and silence. So you jump into that easiness. Then you may come out. It's not you are coming out. The consciousness that you are get absorbed in some thoughts. So we say we lose the consciousness. We do not lose the consciousness. We are the consciousness. We cannot be lost. We are absorbed in some forms. Or we go back and remain as the formless. So whenever you are absorbed in some thoughts, then you can jump into that easiness, jump back, because you already know it, you realize it. You don't need the inquiry and sitting in silence works better when we have not realized that essence. By the time we realize that essence, we can jump into it effortlessly. After a while, it becomes effortless. Okay, I think I explained both process, and these two magic happen in that easiness. But never be after magic, because if you are after magic, that's the mind. That's the ego wants something. There is nothing that ego like. Even if you are self-realized, ego is not satisfied. Ego wants more. Ego is searching for something, I don't know, profound, and it cannot find it in anything. However, when you are just you are enough. Okay? Any comment, question, whatever? And you can always send your questions, topics, whatever you like that we inquire into my email. I shared an email over there. Sometimes I come here do inquiry, so I can choose one of them and do the inquiry. Have a nice day. Bye.